Hello there. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Hi, I'm Cheryl Abram, and this is Life Without a Witness. Welcome those of you who've subscribed since the Nothing Conference, which was this past Saturday. Thank you for being there and for coming here, if that's where you came from. And if not, welcome anyway. Welcome as well. So glad to see you here. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, okay? But today I wanted to talk about something that I've been meaning to come on here and discuss for a minute. Let me see, where did I write my notes on this? Okay. I've been meaning to do it for a minute because I titled it Weight Loss, okay? Now, I was reminded about this topic because of something that happened this past weekend. Now, I am very busy. Okay, I have a small business that I'm trying to build. I'm always doing something. I'm always creating some kind of content, whether it's for the channel or an article or something. It's for something. Okay, which I love doing. Okay, so this past weekend, okay, I said, Cheryl, you're not gonna get up early and go to bed early, meaning the next morning. All right, you're going to sleep in, get some rest, and be okay. Now, that's hard for me to do because I got two boys, 10 and 11. I have, work and laundry and groceries, all this other kind of stuff. But I need my rest. Okay. That's just as important as everything else. And I have come to realize that. So I'm sleeping in, or at least I'm trying to, because I hear, now you mothers or parents out there, you know what I'm talking about. I have a fourth of an ear open, even though I'm sleeping, okay, because I know that my boys are awake. So I hear this wailing, okay, and I mean wailing. And I'm like, first I'm thinking I'm dreaming. So I'm like, what the hell is that? Okay. So I eventually fall back to sleep. And then I hear it again, like this soft, and so I called my youngest son, and I was like, come in here. Like, what is wrong with you? Like why are you crying like that? I'm telling you, it sounded like someone had just told him his, someone he loved most in the world had just passed away or something. I mean, it was just so from his heart, the type wailing, okay? So he was like, nothing. I was like, no. I said, come here, tell me what's going on. So he came in the room. I could tell he was upset. Okay. There were no tears. Okay. Because he wasn't like crying. It was just like oh, it's like wailing. Okay. No tears. So I said, what is going on? So he proceeds to tell me that he was playing a game and he was right at the end. And the other team that he was playing with grabbed him and threw him off the road. And he said it wouldn't have been so bad if they had just knocked him off the road because they wanted to win, which would have been fine. But he was like, they really rubbed it in, and the character in the game, right? So that just made him super upset. He was like, I wouldn't have been as upset if they would have done all that stuff. So I said, okay. I said, all right. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened. Like, I've had to talk to him before about getting so upset about losing a game. Okay. And to say it's just a game is not useful. Okay, that's not it. It's not useful for a 10-year-old, and it's not useful for a 40-year-old. Okay, looking at soccer or football or whatever. Okay, it's not useful. They ain't trying to hear that. So I said, okay, let's look at this thing. I'm sorry that you lost. I absolutely know what that feels like. I have lost before. I realize what that feels like. But then we went on to talk more about what that was and the difference between what's real and what's not. Okay. Because I told him that, listen, and I actually said, this isn't just for you. This is for adults too. I said, mommy has had to learn this and practice this as well. The wonderful thing about a game is that game over is not true. Okay. And I actually wrote a story about this. I think it's in Tales from Eternity, I believe. Game over isn't true because as long as there's somebody willing to play, the game will never be over, ever. That's what makes it a game, is that you can start again. You can start over again. Okay. You can get another chance. You can do it again. Okay. Game over is not true. Okay. So, and that's the first thing. And I said the second thing is, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's fake. So we talked about that, how when you're watching a movie, you know Denzel Washington is fine, okay? But when he starts getting shot in Training Day, my heart just hurt. It hurt. It really hurt, okay? Even though I knew this was not real, you know, but we make a conscious decision to suspend our critical thinking, right? So that we can enjoy stuff. That's why we do it, right? So that we can enjoy it and get, you know, entertainment or whatever the hell we're trying to get out of it, right? That's why some of y'all with the people y'all with right now, okay, whether it's a marriage or some other kind of relationship, because you have suspended your critical thinking so that you can get something out of this, right? Anyway, and so we went on to talk about that, all right? So I told him at the end of the day, you get upset, you get angry, you lost, but you have to realize that you can do it again and it's not serious. Okay, it is absolutely not serious, which was the Nothing Conference's theme. It's not serious. All right, you can be 100% sincere about it, absolutely, but it's not serious, which means if losing isn't serious, then neither is winning. Winning isn't serious either. It's not serious. Okay. So the same way you crying and wailing and gnashing your teeth and putting ashes on your head, covering up your mirrors and all this other kind of stuff when you lose the game. The same way that's, you know, a little overboard, okay, is the same way you're shouting and laughing and tooting and hollering and all this other kind of stuff when you win. Because that ain't serious either. Okay. Now, so when you look at now after this conversation, so this didn't last that long because, you know, attention spans and all this other kind of stuff. But, you know, we had a really good talk, and later on he came up to me, you know, and was talking about it. So I'm hoping that you know, he took something away from that for the next time it happens, because it will. Okay. So for me, you know, something that I love to do is I love looking up the etymology of words. I like to know where the word started, like what did it originally mean? Okay, so I did that for the word loss, and I see that it had, of course, it has several meanings, but it's what do I have here? There's two that I picked out. Okay, it to cease to have or retain. Okay, you lose something, you cease to have it, or you cease to retain it, like your appetite. Like I lost my appetite. All right. And the next one is to become unable to find. To become unable to find. So it was there before. Now it's become unable to find. You've lost it. Okay. Like my keys. I lose my keys all the time. They were there before. Okay. Now, the common denominator in these and the other definitions is that you got to have something first to lose it. You got to have it to lose it. Okay. So for me, looking at it that way, is that the opposite of losing is having, right? Not winning. The opposite of losing is having. Okay, you got to have the shit first. And now how you got it is another thing, whatever. But you have to have it first, before, you know, before you can lose it. Now, in Firing God, which is the book right there in the corner, I have a chapter called Making What's Missing. Okay, making what's missing. And in that chapter, what I say is that in order for me to need something. In order for me to lose anything, I had to make it first. You know, like, because you can't lose what you don't have, right? I had to make it. I had to make it. I had to manufacture something, you know, and then be like, oh Lord, I done lost that. Okay. And in the book, in that regard, I believe I was talking about, you know, I had to manufacture uh what did I talk about in the book? So it's like when I was little, right? And I had to, like, I didn't know that I was poor or unworthy, and you know, all this other kind of stuff, right? So if that's something I had to go find, you know, or that's something I had to attain, you know, then I got to make that stuff first before I can lose it, and then be like, oh, I lost that. Let me go find it again, right? Because in the beginning, okay, in the beginning, there was no issue. There was no issue. Missing what? Like, what are you talking about? You know, I'm not missing anything. Unworthiness. What the hell are you talking about? You know. So I had to make what was missing. You know. Uh, and in another story, I also talk about how when I was a Christian, right, and we would go in church and we would praise the Lord. You know, we would give Him honor and praise and give Him all glory, give Him all this stuff. Okay, same, and this the same principle apply. I can't give you what I don't have. Okay, like I can't. How can I do that? How can I give you what I don't have? So this applied to that too in that story as well. So the whole idea here about winning is a losing game. It's a losing game. And I didn't go over winning. Okay, so let me tell you real quick. Winning is did I look up the thing for that? I did look it up, but I don't think I wrote it down. So winning was just to attain by some means. Okay, basically. So you've attained something by doing something else, whether it's a game or whatever, gambling, whatever the hell. Okay. So you attained it by doing something else. Okay. So that's what winning was. But winning is kind of like manufacturing stuff. Okay. Eventually, the whole reason why you make it is to miss it, right? That's the whole reason that I discovered, you know, that I was making all this stuff up was so I can lose it. Okay. Uh, when I first came into seeing the way that I see, something that I would say is that this, like, the goal seems to be, it seems to be uh experience, right? Now it doesn't matter what kind, just different experiences. That's it. That seems to be the goal. Whether that experience is in heaven or hell, we don't give a shit. We just want to experience, okay? Which is another thing that I want to talk about on this channel when I talk about money. Okay, we're going to have a really good discussion about money and what that is and why that is, okay? And why we give it so much power, okay? Now this is good. I've written something. What did I call it? I think I've called it the war between dollars and cents. Okay, SENSE, dollars and cents, SENSE. Okay, and that's where I'll have to see if I published it in my blog or not. I don't know if I finished writing it or whatever. But in that, I also talk about money and what it is and why we're so fascinated about it and feel like we can't live without it. Okay. Because it's not that we can't live without. It's what it represents that we feel we can't live without. Okay. And we're not living without it. That's the thing. We're not. We're absolutely not. But we think we're missing it. Because if we don't have the representation of it, which is the money, okay, we feel like we don't have it. We feel like we don't have it. Isn't that crazy? Let me write this down so I can remember. I have to do a money thing. Okay. There we go. All right. So that's all I want to talk about today is losing, winning and losing. Okay. They come together. They come together. Yeah. They come together. Okay. So if you want to win, then you gotta, I mean, what are you gonna do? If that's what you want. Now, you can have neither. You have neither winning nor losing and just share. You can do that. And sharing, there is no loss or gain when you share. When you really share, there is no loss or gain. None. Okay. Nobody is diminished or increased when you share. All right. And y'all, I mean, you know what that is. Like, you know what sharing is. Okay. And I'm not talking about in school and they, share your cookie. Now I got half a cookie because I had to share. No, that's not sharing. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. That's totally not what I'm talking about. But you can, I mean, all this stuff, you can see something differently. You can see things differently. And for the things that you've already experienced, the things that you've already seen differently, you see what difference that makes. You absolutely see what difference that makes when you see things differently. Okay. At least, I mean, I see the difference it makes. You're not as, let me see, for example, what's something that I have seen? So I know now that I have the ability to, how do I say, to disagree with the way the world sees things. I can do that. Okay. I see now I'm not locked into the definition. Let me use work, for example, the definition of a leader. Okay. At work, and I mean, probably around the world, a leader has followers. Like that's what makes a leader is that he has, or she, or they have followers. Okay. I don't see it that way. I absolutely do not. Therefore, I have redefined leadership. Okay. Leadership ain't got nothing to do with you. Ain't got nothing to do with followers, ain't got nothing to do with any of that. Okay. But it has everything to do with me and me being able to show up authentically in every single situation. That's leadership. That's the way I have now defined it. So in the work that I do, in the content that I create, that's what I use. Okay. I use my definition of leader. I use the way I see leadership, to when I speak about it, when I write about it, like that's what I'm talking about. Okay. I didn't know I could do that before. Okay. I was not able to see that I could actually, even without anybody agreeing, if nobody's agreed and said, Cheryl, you're crazy, that's fine. Okay. I can still see what I want to see. Okay. And move forward with that. And that's what I'm doing. Okay. That's what I'm doing. And the difference that it has made is that the uniqueness of my content, all right, versus others talking about the same thing. Right. The tone is different. The activities are different. It's just different, and I love that. I absolutely love that. I love that I now see I can be different. Okay. I can do that. I don't have to conform. I don't have to be like everybody else, and that's wonderful. That's really, really good. So that's an amazing benefit that I see from being able to define things, the way I want to. All right. that's all I want to talk about today regarding winning and losing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right now to my blog, and it's called Life Without a Witness. Okay. What is it? Blogger. No, I told you I'm doing it right now. Right now on camera. Sign in. So the thing about these cookies, right? These damn cookies, I tell you, every time I clear my cookies, I got to do my password all over again. And these passwords are a pain in the ass, okay? Because you got so many. You got so many, child. And it's like ridiculous. They put a man on the moon, but I got to remember 37 passwords. Where's the story? Did I publish it? Ending the war between dollars and cents. Yeah, I did. Ooh. I'm going to go. Okay, here it is. So I say money is movement. Movement through the five senses is the currency we use to navigate this world and to get what we want. And what we want is experience. That's it. We are whores for personal experience. Muji says we're promiscuous. Jeff Foster says we must admit everything. Sounds like a whore to me. Movement is a critical mechanism of experience. It's movement / money that is the root of all evil, which means it's also the root of all that's good. Movement is the five senses. Is your sight selecting what it wants to see? So I'm not going to read all this stuff, but it's here, okay? It is on my Life Without a Witness blog that I'm going to put in the description. As long as this thing is internet, child. Can I just go there? Let's see, view blog. So I had an amazing blog with all kinds of stuff in it, but I got hacked, y'all, and I had to delete my Gmail and everything I had accumulated. I tried to get all the stuff out of there before I did, but I had so much stuff and it was just so crazy. So I have the operation was a success, but the patient died is one of the articles. How progress keeps us from reaching our goal. Isn't that crazy? How progress keeps us from reaching our goal. That's one. There is no middle. There is no middle. Okay, that's another one. Worship a fatal mistake is another story. Soup of the day, the tears of your enemies is another one. The hate we hide, ending the war between dollars and cents. The second time I committed suicide is another one. Okay. Do I have more on here? Silence implies consent. But this was one of them that I talked about in the Nothing Conference, if you were there. Okay, silence implies consent. All right, so I am going to go ahead and put the link to this blog in this video description so y'all can subscribe to it, okay? All right, so let me see if I can put it in here too. Y'all, and watch the replay. Yeah. There we go. All right, so thanks so much. I will talk to y'all again next time, okay?